Okay. The rainy vibes are giving, if you feel so inclined, we would be very so grateful if you could come forward so we can have a bit of an intimate vibe with you as we get into today's conversation. Or not, if you so choose. Anyway, all right, so today we have the Sankasa podcast with you. Sankasa consists of myself and Rowena. So I'm Tanika Sam, and can you hear us? You can't really hear, can you?
Cool. Hello? Oh, better? Yay. Okay. All right, taking that from the top. Hi, everybody. One more time. Hi, everybody. Nice to see all your lovely faces. Fighting with the mic right now, so trying my best to be as loud as possible. But once again, thank you guys for coming. This is the Sankasa podcast consisting of myself, Tanika Sam, and
Rowena Jifa.
Yes, and today we have a lovely guest with us, the host of today's session.
Hi.
Yeah. And this is Pamm.
This is Pamm.
Yes, founder of Jane.
My name for a second.
Real. Especially with the weather. Yeah, so my lovely host to the right is going to take us into what the purpose of today is and who we are as a podcast.
Thank you guys for coming. We're so excited to have this conversation. If you haven't watched our podcast, which you should have, we kind of had a brief kind of conversation about this in our third episode, and I think this is like the perfect place to like carry on that conversation. And obviously Pamm's going to bring her wisdom in as well. So we are Sankasa podcast. It's me and Tanika, and we talk about various things, basically trying to get our shit together, and navigating and how we should navigate the world we're in and how we want to exist. And so you should listen. We're on GCR podcast, GCR network, YouTube, Spotify, any streaming services. But for today's purpose of the conversation, we're talking literally about getting your shit together career-wise, right? So when you think you have a plan, the plan doesn't go to plan. They give you a pathway, and the pathway is not what it says it is. How do we navigate that? What does that look like in reality? And what are the ways we can figure it out together, I guess? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Love it. All right, so we're going to have a couple of, not necessarily rules, let's say guidelines for the day. First things first, obviously this seems to be quite an intimate gathering. It's not too many of you, so we want you guys to be as engaged with us as possible. We're some certified yappers here, and I know there's some of you in the audience who are also certified yappers, so we want this to be a dialogue between ourselves and you. We're not here to talk at you, we're here to talk with you. So yeah, let's dive into the topic. Also, as far as mic etiquette, I don't know if there's a mic that will be passed around. I'm sure there will be, or perhaps this can extend down, but however we get the mic to you, when you want to say something, simply raise your hand and then you will be passed the mic. Yeah. Can everyone hear me? Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
So let's start. Okay, a little bit about me. So obviously went to uni, and I was just like, okay, I did like politics, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something really big and important and change the world. But clearly, no, I'm here.
Yes, you are.
Okay, sure. Yeah. But not what I thought I was gonna do anyway. And then I started a 9-to-5, realized I absolutely hated it. In that time, I made some big life changes. I moved to Ghana, trying to figure myself out, what I want my purpose to be. And I don't think it's been the easiest journey, because I have had about close to like 20, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. And through a process of trial and error and still figuring it out, I'm like, okay, I have now kind of a roadmap of where I want to go. But the journey has been tumultuous, it's been painful, there's been tears, there's been laughter, there's been crash outs. And I think it's quite a common thing. And I think we should talk about it more, and finding that way, and like not feeling so isolated in the feelings when we compare ourselves to like, oh, everyone's doing this, and like those people who like since they've been 5 years old have always known what to do. The way I envy them, like the way I'm so jealous, because like that journey and finding that is is not, it's not easy. It's not easy. Do you want to tell us?
No, that journey is not easy. I mean, so audience, how many of you right now are in school, which I would say like university? Okay, two people. Let's clap for our students.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Awesome. And then, okay, so then I assume everyone else is pretty much in the workforce, right? Or not, or there's a high schooler here. Something like that. Yeah. Fun employed. That part. Yeah.
Figuring
Okay,
it out.
cool. So we're grounded in a little bit of school, mostly in the workforce, right? Cool. So I guess to bring it to my journey, very typical, high school, uni. Now I'm in the workforce fighting for my life. Actually, you know what? No, I discard that. I am not fighting for my life. I am thriving. It's important to tell yourself these things, which is what we'll get into today. But yeah, so typical high school route. I think grateful for the journey that I've been on, and with similar to what Jifa just said, like the journey is of course tumultuous and incredibly convoluted, but every year becoming slightly more grounded in what I'm doing and who I am and what I want to do. And I think now I'm in a position where I feel that the path is more clear at the very least, which I'm 27, almost 28. So just to let everyone know, those metrics you set for yourself, where 21, I'm gonna, get married, or I don't know what the fuck we're doing at 21, to be honest with you, but hey, but yeah, 25, I'll build a house, 30, I'll rule the world. I'm sorry, why? But yeah, whatever you were thinking you were going to do, it's more than likely that the path perhaps shifted. If you're one of the lucky few who, as she said, you knew what you wanted to do and you've gone and gotten it, I'm proud of you, actually, and I'm happy for you.
And we're jealous.
Very jealous, but happy for you. But yeah, so currently in a good state and also ready to sort of speak with you guys about where you're at, what your journeys have been, and, just as a community, how we all feeling the move forward from now.
Pam, do you want to tell us a little bit about your journey?
Oh, I don't think my journey has ended.
Real.
And it's really interesting that you say 27, 28 is like figuring it out, because I think you kind of figure it out the whole time. There's never really a time, especially if you're a creative, there's never really a time you're just like, I figured it out. But I feel like the last couple of years has just been me actually doing the things that I said I wanted to do. In the way that I wanted to do them. So I'm grounding myself in that journey of just not figured out, but figuring it out in a grounded way.
Yeah.
I have been working my whole life. I feel like I've been working for the last 100 years, but I've only been in the workforce for like maybe 15 years. Do the math, how old I am. And it's only been in the last 3, 4, 5 years that I've really felt like I'm coming into what I want to do as a creative. And this is one of those things, which is like the culmination of all the things I want to do. Because that's the thing about pivoting and changing career trajectories. Sometimes it's really just a little switch. It's really in deciding, okay, I love doing all these things, but I would prefer to do this, that. Just stretching yourself is not always the best case scenario. Sometimes it's good. And I feel deeply that that's what your 20s are for stretching yourself, figuring out all the things that you're not sure you want to do them. You want to try your hands at things. And that can be a bit tricky if you're Ghanaian, because then it's like, you're not doing anything with your life. What are you doing? And that can get a little to the soul. But I've been lucky, blessed enough to have people around me that support my vision, even when it doesn't look like the vision is sometimes like three-legged, but yeah. So for me, the journey is ongoing. We're still figuring it out.
I think the ongoing theme in like all three of our stories, and I'm sure like you guys will relate to it, is like it's less of a figuring what it is out, it's figuring who you are out, right? Because like my internal battle constantly, like I think I'm a pretty independent person. I don't want no one to come up to me and be like, what are you doing with your life? Da, 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 da. Like I'm already thinking about that, right? And I need to live. Like, Ghana is expensive. I want to be able to live my best life. I think there's a journey of when you're finding your career of like following purpose or chasing the bag, right? And sometimes when you follow the purpose, the bag ain't come until way later. And to be able to stick in that, I think takes incredible resilience, because it's easier to chase the bag sometimes and like being miserable until like it compounds and later you're like depressed at home, blah, blah, blah. But you'll be depressed in a nice house, right? So I think that's what I kind of want to speak to, like finding your purpose and what that looks like, that trial and error phase. What does it take in a person to be able to go through that phase like healthily in finding yourself? Is it community? Is it being comfortable with failure? Or is it like a thing of just maybe maneuvering like slightly, but whilst keeping like your 9 to 5 or whatever, like, because sometimes it doesn't feel healthy to just go all in. And I'm in that now, and it's kind of the ghetto, but we move. It's a good ghetto, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think also just to continue grounding the conversation, because I know we're at the Hire Her Expo, right? This is about women in the entrepreneurial, creative industries, things of that nature, grounding the conversation we're having in, you know, the difficulties or the navigating of growing in your career when you are in a male-dominated industry, or just in any case the minority, you know. So yeah, I actually want to ask the audience a question just based on where we are right now. And is there anyone who is willing to just give us like a brief synopsis of like what you feel your journey has been thus far? What's your route been? Do you feel like you've been unconventional or conventional in how you've gotten to where you've gotten to? Do we have any volunteers? My darling audience.
Do you want to repeat the question? I feel like
What's
some
been your
people are
path?
looking.
Yeah, people look a bit confused. Just
Yeah.
what's been your path thus far, if you would like to share?
Or if there's like anything that we've said that like really resonated, you're like, yeah, I'm there too. What has been your path in like finding purpose and finding self?
I feel like, well, before people get in, the mic is over there. I want to say that the journey for me has very much been in failure. I think my producer of my podcast will eventually decide to publish it at some point. But there are, I think, 6 episodes that we talk about spectacular failure. And that's because I genuinely, I would like to think that my life has been successful, but I think every decision has been informed by failing at something, or something being failed at, and then figuring out how that should look like, right? And so I really love failure. I think a lot of people have a very unhealthy, uncomfortable relationship with failure, and I was raised in the opposite direction. Because it's in the things that you fail that, okay, what did I do wrong? Or what could I have done better? That's all valid. But it's also, how does the failure make me feel? If something goes horribly wrong and I feel, yeah, we'll be fine, then I know, like, okay, you didn't really want to do that anyway. But then if something goes horribly wrong and I just get, listen, we're staying in bed for 2 weeks, then I know that, okay, there's something here that I should dig at. Yeah. And I've kind of figured out how to not let the feeling get that way. Immediately I recognize the triggers of what is making me, what the failure is teaching me. I start actively working on it. I think it was Naswa that said to me last week, she's like, you've been working on this for 6 months. I don't want your job. And when I wanted to come in, she's just like, nope, I don't want to do this. And I respected that so much, because I was like, yeah, I have been working on this for 6 months. And sometimes we forget just how much work goes into the things we're doing, and how that informs how we feel about whether it goes well or it doesn't go well. So for me, I'm just like, if you don't want to talk about your journey, I want to hear about the things that you failed at. Because low-key, those are where the joy is sometimes. So thank you. We will get to this file that I was just handed because we have some job openings. But yes, please, somebody speak to us.
Hello.
Hi.
Can I sit?
Yeah, you do however you like.
Okay, sure. Hi.
Hello.
Sharon. So, I think I have always just known, okay, you go to school, whatever you study is what you come out to become. But my journey in junior high, I studied home economics. In secondary school, senior high, I studied home economics again. Then in university, I studied psychology. So it's like two different parts, right? And I don't really like school because it's long. So after 2 years, I deferred and went into software engineering because tech. Then I'm in tech now, software engineering. And if you're in tech, you would know that there are different parts of tech. I now went into AI. So I can't say my journey has been smooth, but I know I want to become big. I just keep moving. Hopefully the actions I do currently creates the path to what I want to do. So yeah, thank you.
Thanks for sharing.
There's a mic. Team JCD.
Hi, my name is Mimi. So my path has, I think, mostly been about self-esteem. Because I think for me, I've always known that I love to paint, I love to create, I love to do all these things. But for a long time, I think a lot of hesitation and a lot of sort of holding yourself back, like what Jifa was saying about, sometimes it's a lot about knowing who you are and, like what you can contribute and stuff like that. And having confidence in that allows you to show up for more, and the most random things happen and things lead to one another, and like things can start moving on, and you don't know how things are going to show up, so it can't be perfect, but you just have to kind of show up a bit. So yeah, self-esteem is, I think, how my path has been directed. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
I have a question for the host.
Let's go for it.
In your journey, in your independent and collective journey, what has the journey towards being co-host? Because I know you're really good friends, but what is the journey towards being co-host for this podcast, and what does that look like for your individual careers?
Oh, interesting one. Okay, for me, so I think what Meme was saying, I think a lot of it started with a lot of self-esteem for myself, right? So at the time when Sankasa came about, I was stuck in my 9 to 5. I really hated it. And I was in a place where I was working with people who didn't necessarily support and bolster me. And what I wanted for myself was to show that oh yeah, you can do some things, the things they say you're shit at, I'm gonna do everything to say that I'm actually good at it, right? So it came about that way, and in that I knew that the conversations I wanted to have, or the conversations that we were skewed to, I wanted it to be carried by smart, powerful women. And I think Tanika seemed like the obvious choice because she is a smart woman. Yeah, I think that's mostly it. But it mostly came from a place of proving people wrong, or proving the people who were trying to put me down wrong. And also in this, I don't know about you guys, but the spirit of procrastination is strong in me, okay? I want everything to be perfect. I want everything to be I want to know what the end result will be before I even start. So that really deters me from going for things sometimes. And I had kind of made a promise to myself, being in a very unhappy place, to be no, you're gonna go for it regardless of the outcome or what that looks like, right? So in that, we kind of just started, and then we were okay, but I guess we'll make it what it is,
Yeah, I think the journey to becoming a co-host was kind of more so just in a space where I was just open to everything. I was as someone who had been a chronic overthinker, I was in my just do it era. And but I mean, do it with intention, that is to say. And so, like, when Rowena presented Sankasa to me just on a random day, I was at her house and just showing me the little bit that she'd done with like websites and things of that nature. And I was just like, oh, that seems really cool. Like, you know, what's up? And then eventually it evolved into becoming a co-host. And I think that is something that, you know, if you're someone who, to your point, like perfectionism, procrastination, just wanting things to be pepe, for lack of a better word, you should sometimes just open yourself up to things, because regardless of where the journey goes, you will always learn something. There's always a lesson in whatever you do, especially if you're the type to train your mind to find the lesson in everything you do, because to an extent you can do things and then you fucking regret them for the rest of your life. But I mean, on the flip side, you could do things and be like, oh, that was kind of cool. My law is giving. Like, I can go out anywhere and be like, what's your law? Like, I've done this. And now I'm here. So, yeah.
I want to ask a question. Has anyone ever done like a say yes month or like a say yes year?
Oh, I've done a say no month.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So what does that consist of? Like, you said no to everything, or
Almost nearly everything I said no to.
okay.
I also just want to give context that this was because I felt like I have been saying yes to a lot of things. And I wasn't sure if I was saying yes because I was being asked or because I wanted to do them. I had just fallen into this habit of just, yeah, babe, sure. And I was just doing and there was never a dull moment. And if you can judge by how this whole day has gone, I don't know how to charge people for anything. So my default is really to just say, let's do it. Again, you know, your politics informs the way you do business a lot, and I feel like as my friends would like to say, champagne socialist, I genuinely just don't see if there's a way we can do something without having to exchange money, that would be my first option. And so I realized for the longest time that no money was coming into my account. And yeah, I was fine, but I was like, yeah, somebody has to pay the rent, and I am no longer able to pay this rent. So I just decided I'm gonna do a no. Just, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm either going to say not right now or let's do it at another time. And I watched that YouTube video of Shondaland, where she did the whole year of saying yes to everything. I was like, that sounds really tiring. I will say no. And so I got into the habit of saying no. And now no comes to me really easily, which is not a good thing, but still.
No, I think it's intentional.
It is.
It's intentional. I think as much as someone like, so mine was a say yes. I'm doing well. I think it's over now, but I was doing like a say yes 6 months, right? Because like I was in like a new journey or something, and I was just like, I really believe in like one thing leads to another, and I was like, let me say yes. You never know what can come from this and this and this. So I was literally saying yes to, like, I say yes to anything, to not anything, but yes to most things. And when it's like, when I know it's my boundary, then I'll be like, okay, yes, but like, you know, conditions. But I think it really opened me up to like, in my career, kind of figuring things out a little bit easier, because like I was able to do trial and error a lot and fail quicker and faster, which is what we're talking about. To like figure out what the thing is for you, you have to like fail quickly. And sometimes you don't want to waste your time doing 3 years of something, fail, and then be like, oh, but that lesson was like one month in, you know. Have you done a say yes month, or say yes year, or say no year?
Perhaps not consciously, but I'm sure if I dig into the vault up here, I've done something of that nature, just like wanting to be more open or be more closed to certain things. I actually, yes, it's currently my current campaign to, you know, stop being called a DJ. I am no longer a DJ. This is my formal notice to everyone that I am no longer a DJ. I am so sorry to those who like what I play, but we'll do some casual gigs, but I am no longer a bookable DJ. So this is me saying no.
Okay, so how do they hire you if you're not a DJ? Tell the people what you do. What can they hire you
If
for?
I do that, then it looks like a marketing. I'm not. No.
Listen, you see, this is our problem. It's called hire. Hey, ready? Let them hire you, please.
Hire.
Hire Tanika
So the next question is: when you found what you want to do, how do you go for it?
We're moving on very quickly.
Yes,
from
very
unit to
quickly.
this. Okay.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
When you found what you want to do, how do you go for it? I guess since I've moved us along
I was looking for somebody
to pick on.
be killer. When you decided what you wanted to do, how did you go for it? Because she's like, she knows why I'm asking it. I just admire. I think you should grab the mic and say something.
Thank you.
I don't think I've found what I want to do, so it's very funny. But I find that the people who I think are doing cool things that they want to do them because they just do them. And that can be a difficult thing to do sometimes when you don't have access to resources and opportunities, which is, I guess, what I do. I think a lot about things, and that is easy, at least. You don't need a lot of resources to think, so I just do that. But then when you find what you want to do, how do you do that? Is that you just do, and it might not be as simple or straightforward as if, for instance, you want to get into architecture, right? You can just get up and build your first really cool house, but then what you can actually just do is to start consuming architecture magazines or newsletters and stuff like that. And the more you consume content, you are better placed to create content, whatever content that may be, even when it doesn't look like media content, right? Even if it's theory, if it's research, you need to consume the kind of thing that you care about in a way that is intentional to you, but also intentional to your place in the world and society. But yeah.
Thank you. That's given us so many points to go off of. I mean, my goodness. I love that. Just do, because that is the era that I'm in as well. And I think it can interestingly build a lot of confidence in yourself, because at the end of the day, you're the one in the driving seat. And I think that's something that a lot of us are not able to explore during the former parts of our lives, the early on parts, because obviously you're in school, you're being told what to do. The most you do is in uni, perhaps plan your schedule and get a bit more freedom in that way. But for most of us, entering the workforce is such a jarring experience because we haven't been given the opportunity to be in the driving seat for so long in our lives. You've had, if you're lucky, you've had your two parents, one parent, etc., and they've hopefully guided you, or at least created frameworks. You go to school, maybe you do extracurriculars, whatever it may be. By the time you're entering the workforce, you're like, what the hell? What am I supposed to be doing right now? Who put me in the driving seats? So many millennials and Gen Zs, what do we say? Adult, oh God, it's so corny. I'm so sorry to say this, but adulting is hard, or whatever the fuck. But yeah, it's a difficult journey to be in the driving seats. But I really think once you strap in, it's such a confidence boost, especially when things go well. And trust me, things will go well. Just from a statistical standpoint, at some point, you would have done enough for something to have gone well, and it will give you that confidence to want to continue to go forward. And you'll learn so much about yourself in building the habits that are necessary for you to move forward, for you to gain even more confidence, to build community around you, to engage in residencies and programs and hire her expos. So I don't really know what my point is, but yeah.
I can go off that.
I think we got your point.
I think the beauty of that as well is that you get to do it your way. In figuring it out, you're okay, the convention or what other people doing it like me are saying this is how you do it. I don't want to do it like that. Me, I like to I've been working since I was 16. I want to sleep, I want to rest. So you're not going to tell me the hustle culture of if you really want to go for it, do this, work till for 12. I don't want to do that. I'm going to sleep for 8 hours and maybe work 4 hours one day, 8 hours one day. I'll do it how I need to and how I like to do it. But as long as I have some structure and a plan and a goal, and I know I'm gonna reach it, then that's okay for me. And the doing this is a hard one, because I think this is something I struggle with, which is like discipline, right? Because sometimes like I know this is what I want to do for my life, this is what I like, but I don't want to do it.
Fair. I really
No, I'm being so real. Like
I'm 2 seconds away from downloading Raya.
babe.
Just like
Oh,
this is not working.
Like find your sugar.
Oh,
But as in like I have a goal. Like let's say you're putting on this event. I'm sure like Monday to Friday you're like, I have to make efforts towards this event. Wednesday could come and you're like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to do anything towards this. I don't want to be involved, right? And having that thing to even be like, oh, let me just even show up that 1%, 2%, 3% is sometimes the hardest thing to do. Like sometimes just sending one simple email that takes 5 seconds, I'm like, oh my God, I need to work up all that energy. So that's something I'm kind of struggling with at the moment.
Do you think that's because for a long time our idea of what discipline and success looks like has been defined for us? Because when like people say that you sleep too much and it's because you slept for 8 hours, because they genuinely expect you to be up and running all the time, and there are people that just don't sleep and work, like I'm looking at Cyril, they just always are working, and I really respect and admire that, right? And a lot of times I'm just like, I would take a nap.
Yeah, I honestly, I think it's a cultural thing, right?
It is.
It really is a cultural thing, because sometimes I will tell myself to rest, and then I'll be like, if my mom saw me resting right now, she'd be like, what are you doing?
Yes.
She'd be like, girl, you have things to do. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you actually. I feel like discipline is also a learned habit, and for specific things like music and being a producer or being a DJ, you don't have the luxury of not doing that thing, right? So I want to ask now, in your new life, how are you applying that discipline to other aspects of your life? Because I don't have any of that. I'll be very honest with you. I don't have a disciplined bone in my body, only because I resist routine. It's not that I don't know there is a routine. My brain, my body just resists. We did that yesterday. Why do we want to do that today? Oh, we just did that 2 hours ago. And it requires you to be very, very like constantly hard on yourself to be able to do these things, right? Especially if it doesn't come easy for you. So how do you do this?
Oh, wow. That's a really good question. And I honestly, genuinely, strongly believe that you can, it's so cliche, but you can achieve anything you put your mind to. It really is just about being consistent. It's what I've learned as I've gotten older or whatever is that the consistency that is required, to your point, discipline is a skill. It's not a skill that I necessarily had intrinsically. It is a lot easier to be quote unquote in chaos than it is to be in order. It takes more energy to put things in order than it is to just let things, go awry. And so it's, like you just said, it's about creating a framework that works for you. It doesn't necessarily mean this 9-to-5 grind, working yourself down to the bone. For some people, that does work. And so it's not like the 9-to-5 is a bad thing. It's just a thing that doesn't work for you. And getting older, or at least tuning into that mindset, is just recognizing that you have the agency to create the life that you want. To Michaela's point, though, like obviously when you have access to the necessary resources and things of that nature, because that's important. Like sometimes the agency, you have your personal agency, but then the external agency of money, just a place to be, the co-working spaces, because obviously the peace of mind, even weather, like there's so many things that can affect your ability to act in the ways that you want to. And so I would just, encourage, like, be gentle with yourself, but then also self-reflect a lot and be real with yourself, because the reality is, for many of us, I think in the past, or at least for myself, let me speak for myself, I can say with certainty that a lot of the times where I was resting, I maybe shouldn't have been. Maybe I should have gotten up and done something, because when I finally got into that era of like, okay, it's been 8 hours, time to get up, I don't want to. I really do not want to, but I do. And then once I'm up, it's almost like exercising. They're like, once you get to the gym, you'll do something. Even if it's not the greatest thing you've ever done, you'll do something. Like now if I do something half-assed, it's fine. Who cares? I did it. I showed up. I managed. 3 years from now, I'll probably be really good at that thing. Like we see the results of all these people we want to emulate, these inspirations of us, and we're like, how the hell did they get there? And everyone's path is different, but I can say with certainty they were consistent and they were disciplined.
It's like a compounding effect.
Exactly.
I'm a big believer of romanticizing my life.
Yes.
Like I am in Delulu land, from Delulu world, so I will romanticize my life to death. So if like I have to get up and I have to go to the gym, best believe I'm about to make myself the best breakfast I've ever made that day tomorrow. And I will reward myself to no end. Like if I've done like a piece of work that like I've been putting off, I'll be like, okay, cool, let me take myself a little walk and get like my favorite fruit or get me some chocolate or whatever it is, because I'm very much reward based, and I know that about myself. Someone telling me like, oh, just get up and do it, I promise you I'll try, but I won't do it. I need an incentive, I need a reason why to do it, and for me it's rewards, and I will do that till can't tell me other than.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you both for
I
sharing.
wanted to ask the audience, are there any rewards that you like to give yourself when job well done? Some ice cream, some chocolates, a date, shopping. Okay. All right. We have a real shopper. Anyone else? Food? Shopping. Okay, cute. I'm a big food girl, I must say. Like, I'll give myself a cookie.
Hi. Sorry, I'm just giving a wave to my co-writer at the back. All the way from Zimbabwe. Okay. Yes. Does anyone want to answer?
Any other, maybe something interesting, like something, is there anything interesting?
I reward myself with nothing. Just like, no, I mean like just the nothingness, right? Just nothing. I don't even want to call it rest. People ask me what I eat and I'm like, nothing. They're like, I'm like, not a thing. I don't want to hear your voice. I don't want to see you. I don't want to, just absolute nothing. Empty. I love zero. Just give me nothing. Yes. When we're talking about discipline and just being consistent and showing up, I remember, I think it's Poetra here, she might have stepped away. And last year, we went for a Black Girls Glow staff retreat. I think it was last year. I don't have a concept of time. And it was around February. And I remember saying, in April, I'm going to be a writer. And this is not a random thing. It's just like, I keep saying I'm going to be a writer, but then it's just like, you never really write. Or I write a ton of things and they never go anywhere. And I remember so when I said that, I decided that writing would be my reward for if I've done something good. So every time I've done something really well, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna write today. I feel like I can reward myself with some creative labor. So I also feel like rewards aren't necessarily tied into the things that you can see or the things you can buy, or it's oftentimes just how that thing makes you feel. I remember when Rowena used to be my neighbor, I would see you on your walk. I know at Chado, don't worry. I would see you on her walk. Just
guys, I actually I forgot.
Yeah, I know.
A couple of
years ago, like 3 years ago, and I would go on a walk to reward myself for like a good day, because at that time I was working like ridiculous hours, full days. My day started at 11 and my shift ended at 3 a.m. I was going crazy. And so the only thing I could do to reward myself and feel good was to take a walk. And I would see Rowena and her dog, and it would just make me so happy. I started going on my walk around the time that I would know I'll see her and her dog. And so you wouldn't see me because I'll be on the other side of the street, but it would just feel like, the dog! And I'll just get really excited. And oftentimes that was a good enough reward for me, right? Or if I'm having a really long day and I'll just say, can I see a picture of Frida? I'll send Irene a message like, I want to see a picture of Frida, because that feels like, okay, I couldn't go get an ice cream, but I could see a picture of the dog I like, you know. So now I want to hear from somebody, what does a reward look like, especially if you're doing a lot of things? Sharon?
Hi.
A getaway. Okay.
Oh my God,
Do you want to adopt me?
It's crazy.
In the jungle. Are you one of those people that do like hikes and like to sleep under tents and things? Okay.
You're one of those?
She's one of those.
Oh, wow.
Bugs and things.
Okay. But no, staycation's a big one for me. Like I'll take myself on a little like Kokobite or Akosumbo. This resort, which I shall not name because I don't want to see none of you there. They hate to see me coming. What's your reward?
Reward yourself with.
That's a really good question. Mostly rest. I mean, that's not really a reward though. I feel like that's just baked into like
I think yours is food.
a little bit. Not
Yeah.
really though.
I feel like you like to cook to relax. Or
No,
like,
that shit's stressful as fuck.
Okay, say less.
It's actually stressful. It's
Cook a lot.
I love cooking. Yes, I do love cooking. Maybe a reward is like an expensive ingredient
Ooh, okay.
or something of that nature.
Exotic.
Maybe an olive.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, my reward is a good writer, consistently writing without no validation. Just keep on working without no support system. And I see it inspires people out there. That's my reward.
Love to see it.
In that being said, I think where we've got into the conversation, I think it's really important to mention, like, as much as we love discipline, as much as we love, rewarding ourselves and finding our own ways to do things, to know that we have avenues of things that can help us, like Jane Can Do, Sankasa. There's other organizations that put you in community in order to help you help you get to where you want to get to. So I would say, like, make the best of those communities and also find your own. Find people who are maybe doing similar things to you, or you're on a similar journey. Doing things in twos can make it a lot easier to, feel like at least I'm not alone, and I'm you're suffering with me.
Yeah.
I think our time is up, right?
Okay, on that note, whilst we are on the Goethe stage, I just want to give a big shout out to Max, Liz, and the entire team at Goethe Institute for want to say hello to the people in the writers retreat over there. So sorry, we will be doing this for a few more hours, so strap in. Okay, so please feel free to go to the booth, say hello to a brand owner. This is hard work, guys. Just being able to come up with a business and keeping it running, I find it mind-blowing. So please go speak to one of our business owners, anybody actually. Speak to an artist, speak to a freelancer of any kind. Just get to know somebody. And yeah, I think this might be the end of our episode.
Are you gonna tell us what jobs you're hiring for?
Yes.
'Cause I might apply for one.
You have to understand that I've been asking GCR for this for a very long time. So I also want to say thank you to Rowena and Tanika. I know we started from March and then we just kept moving, and now we're in June. So thank you for being so patient.
Thank you for having us.
I love what you guys are doing with your podcast. I don't even think it's necessarily in the chemistry and the conversations you have. It's also in just the space you have created, because often when we hear from diasporan voices, we never want to hear it because they really never have anything to say. I was going to say sensible, but I've changed. So and you have given us an opportunity. It's true, yeah, and you have given us an opportunity to see that there is different experiences, and it's even in the way you communicate your different and unique experiences. So well done. I hope you continue, and we look forward to seeing you grow. Yes. Okay, jobs. Listen. Okay, if you know Edan is over there. You should speak to Karina before you go. She is looking for a web designer, a guest house manager, a cafe manager, and a cultural producer. This is open to women only, so just don't just be a woman. And when I say be a woman, inclusive. So the Good Tree is looking for some volunteers. If you don't know the Good Tree, I volunteer with the Good Tree. They work with girls from Teshi, giving them digital skills, support with reproductive health, knowledge and advocacy. They are building a community center at Teshi to provide girls with their first laptops and a space to just be at. So either donate or feel free to give them some money or be a volunteer. So don't forget, we're looking for a web designer, a guest house manager, a cafe manager, and a cultural producer. Volunteers for the Good Tree, volunteers for drama queens. Drama queens, don't worry, we're going to give the mic to everybody for the next 10 minutes so you hear from them directly. But drama queens, if you don't know drama queens, I think you should quickly Google it. You're embarrassing all of us. BIA is looking for people to join their focus group. BIA is a creative platform. I feel, when you see Glimmer or when you see Fiverr, you get really excited because you're going to get some opportunities. That's what BIA is trying to create. And they're looking for people to join their focus group to check if the new interface of their app works for everybody. So we're going to need everybody, men, women, non-conforming, everybody go and join that focus group. Let's create something that's for us because they always forget to include us. So, we are also looking for an interior designer, an accountant, an architect, and for some reason, a structural engineer. I don't know any structural engineers, but somebody has DM'd us, emailed us, called us to remind everybody that they are looking for a woman who is a structural engineer. So if you know anyone, we're going to put this up on social media, but these are the openings we have. The rest are all freelance. Feel free to join the Jane Can Do platform. Go on Instagram, click the Be a Jane Can Do, or just join Jane Can Do. We'll have your details, and whenever something is up, we will send it to you. I see a few Janes that we've done things with, so that's really exciting for me. So these are the openings we have for today. Feel free to speak to any of them, or come see me, and I'll give you more information. And once again, thank you. I'll let the girls close us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for enjoying the conversation, and hope you keep it going. Yeah.
Yes.
Bye.